Hello, dears, and welcome back to Benidorm latest news update of the sunny Costa Blanca, Spain. Today we have a lot of interesting news and very useful and important news to share with you all, so make sure you stay tuned up until the end. We'll be talking about the unstoppable Benidorm. What's happening with the bookings for this year 2024? We'll be talking about a organized criminal group that finally has been taking over here in Benidorm, that's been stealing inside of houses in specific areas out here. And the last news will be about what to do if people witness a cardiac arrest or any other kind of issue, really important health issue inside of a hotel in Benidorm, what you should know and where should you go and ask for help. And then we'll top it all up with the weather forecast as usual for the next 7 days, because the weather shifted back again. Let's start with the situation in tourism sector for this year 2024. Benidorm is unstoppable. This is the title of some of the newspapers that we found this early morning. The avalanche of bookings for this year 2024 just covered Benidorm entirely. At this very moment, we already have almost 5% more of bookings than we've had last year at the same specific date. For February, hotels already have around 64% of bookings made. For between March, April, and May's date will be around 53, 46, and 41% already. So spring season is already getting quite busy, even right now when we're still in January month. Apart from that, for the summer season, the percentage is around 40%. So it's already kind of looking busy and very, very nice. And for the end of the year, the reservations are already around 7%. So even for the end of this year, Christmas and New Year's Eve, people already started booking. A lot of it is actually brought with the early bird bookings, the bookings in advance, at least 3, 4, or even 6 months in advance before the scheduled travel date. Some of the hotels and some of the hotels chains do offer early bird bookings, which is when they give you between 5 and 10% of additional discount for your booking itself, if you book it way in advance. So this is what a lot of people are actually doing. To be honest with you, and most probably is that there's not going to be any big discounts or specific offers, lower prices than what we've seen right now already here in the area. So if you see some nice price, at least moderately acceptable price, take it, because you can always cancel the booking unless it's non-refundable. So then you need to think twice. But if your booking has an easy cancellation, at least sometime beforehand, you can always cancel it and rebook it with a cheaper price, or just contact the accommodation directly and say, hey, I've seen this, it's way cheaper right now, the rate, can you adjust the rate for us? And 99.9% of the times they will actually do so. So quite probable there's not going to be any kind of specific offers. Maybe as usual for a long stay, there's going to be some discount, maybe first or second child free of charge, or at least like 50% off for pensioners, for people older than 65 usually years old, or 60. There's going to be some discounts, but apart from that, nothing specific. So it's not going to be too cheap to come here to Benidorm. Why? Because it's already quite full. It's because hotels know people will keep coming, so they do not want to lower the prices any more than they are right now. So it will become quite busy in any case. Be prepared for the record year 2024. And now let's continue with the second news. One of the organized criminal bands here in the area of Benidorm has been arrested. It's around 25 people that were actually stealing inside of houses and properties, both touristic properties and those who live here permanently or have like a second vacational type of house in Javea, Moraira, Teulada, Benitachel, Finistrad, and Benidorm's region. It's not something uncommon, I must say. Sadly, houses are suffering way more from robberies and thefts simply because the access is slightly easier than closed houses like these ones, like big buildings with flats and apartments. It's more difficult to access these than a house, which is why it's way more vulnerable. But luckily, they've been arrested already, and all the belongings have been brought back to their owners, which are branded purses, mobile phones, electronic devices, expensive types of machinery, or even some things to fix cars, for example, perfumes, expensive perfumes, jewelry, watches, cameras, etc. Everything that they've seen just even the slightest value in, they've been keeping it up for themselves. But luckily now it's not the case any longer. On the other hand, we have a person that's also been arrested that's been stealing inside of vehicles here in Benidorm. It's been unlocking the vehicles, opening them up with specific electronic devices, like to copy the chip of the key, you know, the code of the key. So he was able to open them up using these professional equipment that shouldn't be used in these circumstances, but that's what thieves usually do, don't they? So this person was also stealing belongings from cars, especially if he sees like a purse inside. So never, ever, ever, if you have a rented vehicle, or if you come with your own vehicle, like a mobile phone, something, if you leave it unprotected on the street, don't leave your belongings just like this, sitting on the chair, like, you know, sitting on the somewhere on the visible place, because there's going to be way more people that would be willing to take your belongings for you. So bear that in mind. It's not like here it's really, really dangerous, but if you leave things like this for everyone to see, there's going to be more people who potentially would want to take them. So bear that in mind. Luckily, police is working really, really well. We have a lot of police cars wandering around and police officers. So it's still quite safe. Just in some of the cases, you need to be slightly more careful. The last news that I wanted to share with you all is very, very important. It's extremely important for those who come to Benidorm, come to Spain in general on holidays, or why not? I suppose it's quite similar in a lot of other countries here on the Mediterranean Sea. Maybe even all over the world, but at least here that's the case. Yesterday morning, Sunday morning, there was a person of 76 years old that got that went into a cardiac arrest. I suppose that's the correct term to use. Basically, his heart stopped inside of the hotel during breakfast. 76 years old, people went to the reception right away. In this hotel, they have specific machines, which we'll talk about in a second. So they performed him a specific reanimation, and after which a specific car, which is called SAMU is not like a usual ambulance. SAMU has a doctor inside, and they have everything needed to bring a person alive back again, always when it's possible, obviously. So they have everything they need. After 13 electric discharges, that person was brought into life back again, and a lot of time passed, but he is alive, at least for now. That's what we know. He was brought first to Villajoyosa Hospital and then directly to Alicante Hospital of San Juan, which is bigger, it has better equipment in a sense, and so far that's what we know. Why I'm telling you this, although it's not a good news, it's not something positive that we would like to share with you, it is important for people to know what to do in these situations. Probably what a lot of you don't know, and what we do know, because as a former hotels industry worker, I know a lot about it. So it's good because I can share it with all of you guys. The vast majority of hotels here in Benidorm and surrounding region do have specific machines that are called DEA. These are semi-automatic or automatic machines that are monitoring the heart rate, and if there's an absence, if it's in a normal heart rate or an absence of it, they are performing, with instructions or without instructions, electric discharges to the person. You actually have to combine it with a manual one, so you have to do pushes, then you have to do the breathing, like to put the oxygen in, and then you can apply this machinery. It's installed in almost every single hotel by now. I think by law it's obligatory to have at least one. And usually it's located in somewhere in the common areas. Usually it's around reception, lobby, somewhere that it's easy to access. And every single person that deals with customers or who wanted to learn it actually has done a course on these specific machines and have a title for it. This should be done at least every 2 years, if not every single year, to make sure that you keep knowing how it works, that you keep knowing how the machine works, and that you're comfortable with it completely. So each and every single worker, in case something happens, in case you see that a person just passed out, not breathing, cannot find a pulse, whatever it is, just collapsed randomly, go immediately to any kind of worker you see in the hotel. Doesn't matter if you're at the restaurant, go to restaurant staff. If you're by the reception lobby, go to the lobby. If you're somewhere else, go to the first place you know there will be some kind of staff of the hotel. They will immediately bring the machine to you, or obviously apart from calling an ambulance, but at least while the ambulance is coming, because the first 10 minutes are crucial in these cases. At least meanwhile, they will be able to perform a lot of necessary work and maybe save the person's life. You never know what might be going on, but this machine detects everything, detects the correct heart rate. It shows if it's arrhythmia, if it's something else, and it will do all the necessary work, at least to try and maintain the person before the ambulance comes. So it's a vital advice that we can do for all of you guys, that we can give you guys, so that if, I wish not, but if things happen during holidays as well, don't think it doesn't happen. Things do happen in a lot of hotels here in the region. And knowing what you should do in these cases can save lives. Not only yours, but maybe some other tourist's life in the hotel. So it's very important to know what these steps of action are. And hopefully all of you who are coming here on holidays will be safe. I know a lot of people come here and they drink too much, maybe they smoke too much, maybe they take something else. Maybe people don't sleep enough, they eat too much of something they're not used to. And this excess, a lot of the times, brings to a lot of health issues. So while you need to enjoy, obviously, your holidays, but think about your health as well, because you cannot imagine how many issues like this we've seen in the hotels and how many issues like this I've seen in the hospital, in the emergency department, with the vast majority of people being tourists that had something happening during their holidays. So stay safe and enjoy your holidays. And now let's talk about the weather. What will be happening here in the region? Right now, there is a strongest wind by the sea. As for the weather in Benidorm and Costa Blanca in Spain in general, I must say it shifted a tiny bit. It's not so warm today any longer, which we're slightly sad about, but hey, this is the usual winter weather. This is something we are actually used to. And this type of weather, some sun, some clouds, no rain. So far, no rain here in the area, at least for this upcoming week, will be here throughout the next 7 days. Probably today and tomorrow, slightly more clouds, and then the rest of the week, more sunny weather. The temperatures have dropped a tiny bit. No gorgeous 24 degrees as we've had only yesterday, Sunday, when we've showed you the lovely walk by the sunny Levante beach on Sunday midday. And on Thursday, probably, so in 3 more days, temperatures will start to rise a tiny bit more again, and will be around 18, 20 degrees more or less, which is still great for already February month. And the water temperature surprisingly did rise up. We were curious about it yesterday. We've mentioned it in a video, and we've actually checked that the water temperature has risen up by 0.4 degrees with all this warm weather. So right now, official water temperature in Benidorm is 15.4 degrees. Maybe it will drop with these days a tiny bit. Maybe it will maintain. We'll see. But this year, we have a lot of records in terms of weather, in terms of probably even water temperature this summer. Interesting years waiting for us. Record occupancy and record amount of tourists in Benidorm, record winter temperature. I wonder how many more records in weather will we be hitting this year. But we'll see that as the year goes. Thank you for accompanying us on today's latest Benidorm news update, and we'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video here on the channel. Bye, Gs.